Welcome to another edition of Success Talk. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and each week we bring you exciting people who've accomplished incredible things, but who have overcome obstacles and challenges and made their breakthroughs. So today we have Sheila Agnew McCoy, personal
Hey.
trainer, special person. Welcome, Sheila.
Hello, how are you? How are you? Good to be here.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to, like I say, let's call it a path maker. You know,
Mhm.
when I look at some of the work you've been doing with personal training for people in this particular age category, I'm just like super appreciative because nobody's really doing that. You go to the gym, everything is like the young people are doing 50 push-ups, 20, running 10 miles a day. And I think that you really hit a niche there.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons why I became a personal trainer is because I always go to the gym wherever I am. And I noticed in the gym that I was training at, there was a gap in training for older adults. And I would listen sometimes to some of the trainers and I would hear what some of the older adults were saying. And I don't think they were listening to them.
Mm.
But I actually would bring people to the gym from my church and just show them around. And one of the young trainers there did ask, he said, you know what, you would be good as a senior trainer. And I said, really? He said, yeah. So I said, okay, I got certified.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I became but I've been an advocate of health and fitness most of my adult life.
Yes, yes. Well, that is so important because, many times a lot of our senior citizens don't start thinking about getting into the gym and doing, a consistent exercise program until they've had a health issue.
Right.
A-
Yeah.
a- All of my friends now are going to the gym at the cardiac unit. you know, and if they had gone to the gym a few years before, they might not have been at the cardiac unit.
Right. Yeah. Most of the older adults that come, they either want to change their lifestyle, the different lifestyle they have, or they've had some kind of physical challenge that makes them want to live longer, basically have a better quality of life.
Well, I tell you, the work you're doing, I think, is going to be greatly appreciated, and it probably needs to be done all around the country.
Yeah. And there it's more consciousness about it now. People are getting more into it. But what I caution people is a lot of the things that you see online, they are not the average. That's not average, and that's not what most people are doing. So
Mm.
you really have to be careful, and you have to don't feel that you can't do it because you see someone doing something that you feel that you can't do. Just try to get a trainer or get online or go to the gym. And if you have a good personal trainer, they will guide you in the right way.
Mm. Mm. Well, Sheila, tell us a little about your background. You grew up in Chicago?
Yes, I'm born and raised.
Uh-huh.
My kind of town.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I was born and raised in Chicago, South Side. I went to school there and really just had a great childhood growing up. I went to college in Chicago and didn't leave there until actually I've been there over 50 years, maybe about 50 years before I left.
Mm.
But I my growing up is I started thinking early that I wanted to be in business, like as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I just want to be in business. I didn't know what kind of business I wanted to be in, but that's what I wanted to do. I
Mm.
went to a high school where I saw people that some of my friends, their fathers and moms were in business. So it just encouraged me and inspired me. And that's always been my path, and that's always been my goal.
Mm. Mm. Now, were you always in your own business, or did you have a career before that?
I was in corporate HR before got into my own business. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I started my business in 1985, a retail party supply store on the south side of Chicago. And I
Wow.
mean party goods, not
Uh-huh.
party,
Uh-huh.
not party drinking. Some people get that mixed up.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Wow. Now, was there anything in corporate America in HR? Were you happy there? Or that was there a barrier or something there that you wanted to sort of get around and get out of, or how did that work for you?
I actually had a very good corporate career.
Mhm.
Like I said, I started out a clerk and all of that, and that's my first jobs. But when it came to HR, I really had a good career there. What I actually got into actually doing having my own business because of an adversity.
Mm.
And I had been recruited by a company in California, aerospace engineering company, to work in their labor relations department. And during the interim of planning the move and getting my physical and all that, I found out that I had to have surgery. And the surgery would require a recuperation period, and I couldn't go to California. But in terms of my degree, I have a degree of bachelor's in business. I had a class that the whole class was writing a business plan. So I laid in bed for those 6, 7 weeks when I was recuperating from surgery, and I wrote a business plan. And when they called me back, the company called back, they said, "Gee, we have another opening in another city in California." I didn't take it because I had written a business plan to start my own business. And that was an adversity, but I turned it into something that worked for me. And it was actually something that I had wanted to do. So it wasn't, I had a good career. It was a good base, and I learned a lot and, did a lot of things. But that entrepreneurial bug just hit me. I could say the spirit of the entrepreneurial bug hit me.
Well, Sheila, I think you have hit one of the main causes for failure in for entrepreneurs is lack of a business plan. So many entrepreneurs, I think they operate on excitement. They just want to do it, and they have this image of what being an entrepreneur is all about, but they never really reduce it to a business plan, because no matter what it is, sooner or later, entrepreneurship is going to be a business. It's really a business, and it's I guess it's the main issue is who's the boss.
Right. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
functions are the same.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah. And really today there are a lot more tools that people could use, but they don't always use it. And when I did it, I had one tool that I used and I stuck with it, and that was the SBA. The SBA have people that you could call, and they're actually business people or
Uh-huh.
retired, and you can call. That was my tool. I stuck with it through the whole plan. Whenever I had a question, I would call the person I was assigned to. And now there's so many different avenues, so it doesn't really make sense for people not to have some of the success tools that they need to be successful in business.
Yes, yes. Well, now that's a big jump there, because when you have that, well, let's say this. Let me diagnose that for a minute, because number one, you went to somebody who knows, you
Yeah.
know, and you use the tools. Having been in business, you had a good idea what that was about. And I almost wish that many entrepreneurs started out in business so they have at least an overall vision of how it works.
Right.
And
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you got the resources, you got assistance to help you put it all together.
Right, right. And it was important for me that I actually had a class that was the entire class for the whole semester.
Hmm.
And I think that and even without that, I had gone to the Chamber of Commerce to take the business courses, certification courses and things of that sort, where you get a certificate. So it's always been important to me that I take the steps that I need in order to be successful, because I still do certifications. I'm doing one now as a personal trainer. So you really just have to stay on. And I tell people, not just young people, all people, that people are not going to give you that gift. You have to go out and you have to research it, and you have to find for yourself. And because it's something that I can't tell you about your business. I could tell you some steps, but you have to know your business. That's the only way you're going to succeed, is to know exactly what you're doing and know how to manage it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a big step, because so when people don't have that, the odds of them failing are much greater, because they don't have a plan. In the Bible, well, in business planning, it says, well, in the Bible, it says the original business plan, and in the Habakkuk, it says, write the vision, make it plain.
And make it plain.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And that is so important, that you can see, that you could go back and see some of the things that you have written in your business plan. So you want to make sure that you're on track with your plan.
Yeah. And I think many entrepreneurs, business people, never get into proper financing, because without a business plan, you won't be able to really interact with the banks and any lending and small business administration, any of those entities that promote business that could be a great assist. They don't get into that because they don't have that business plan, and so there's no way to really connect. So this is good information. Yeah,
I think that what happens is so I'm a personal trainer now, but those skills that I have picked up being an entrepreneur is so valuable to right now. I'll just tell you a short story. 2 things that we're going to need with that business plan. And you're going to need your financing and your marketing. And you need everything, but you got to have that on point. I got approved for an SBA loan in a record time. It was in a 4 to 6, believe it might have been 6 weeks that I was approved for an SBA loan. Now, if you know anything about SBA, you know that a new business just starting out with no track record will not get a loan in that short a period of time. They would have to do a lot to get that. So I say that to say that the most important thing that they looked at was my marketing plan and my financial plan.
And without that, it's not going to work.
You will not get a loan. And it has to not just be a plan, it has to make sense. It has to make dollars and cents about how you're going to pay it back. So and it just requires and if you can't do it, hire someone to do it. For my financials, I hired someone to do that, who was someone I had worked with in corporate, who helped me with my financials. So you have to use the resources that you have, and resources are key in whatever you do in life.
Wow. Yeah. That's powerful, because that in itself, I think for many of our listeners who are entrepreneurs, that to really look at, there's that traditional structure that you really need to plug into. You may have the greatest idea, but if you don't have that business plan, and as you say, the finances and the marketing, it may never get into the marketplace. You may never get the benefits of it, and the idea will pass on to someone else.
Yeah, and nowadays all you have to do is plug in. I had to do everything, by hand or whatever. But nowadays, you can plug in and the numbers will come out. So like I said, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've seen some of those programs to help you write a business plan. And, I'm sure they have some value, and at least to learn, just looking at the program, you got to learn a little bit about what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. So you have to, it's easy once you keep doing it. Like
Hmm.
they say, repo. You keep on doing it repetitive. It's easy once you keep doing it. So
Yeah,
the key is to start.
yeah. Now, when you think about making that transition into your business, so your is it party supply business? Now, did you eventually sell the business? How did that work over the long term?
Yeah, I was in that business for I think 6, 7 years, and I moved on to another level.
Uh-huh.
I actually was moved out of retail and moved into event and party decorating and event management. So it just elevated and the reason why I elevated, why I had a bad partnership in the party store, that's one. That's another story. But the reason why my business elevated out of the retail into the decorating and the event planning is my clients were so impressed with me and they kept asking me to do more things. I
Uh-huh.
never went into there thinking that I would be an event planner. I went
Mm,
into it thinking I would be a retailer.
right.
So,
Okay.
but my clients kept saying, "Well, could you do this, or could you do this, or could you decorate?" I never decorated in my life, but became one of the premier balloon decorators in Chicago. So I'm just saying that my clientele pushed me higher and higher to different levels based on things that they need, and I went with the flow.
Yes.
So we don't always come out the way we think we are because God always has another plan.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
No, many times people don't see the value of clientele. I like the way you said it. Even though you may have been in retail, you still had a relationship.
Client,
And
yeah.
that idea of clientele, that's a powerful piece of success, isn't it?
It's a very, very powerful because you want to establish the relationships in your business because they take you a long, long way.
Yes.
Uh, Many of the clients I had initially at the first retail business, I still either have contact or we still friends or I still do some type of business with them. So it's amazing. It's amazing what having relationships will do for you in life, but in business, it takes you a long way.
Mm, wow. I think that's you know, Sheila, that's something people are going to have to kind of learn again. I look at some of the young people. One of the things about doing a lot of interviews, I interview like a wide range of people, and I
Mhm.
find that many times the younger people today are often so reliant on the technology that
Mhm.
sometimes they don't really focus on the value of relationships and
Right.
and happy customers, happy clientele. It's almost like if you can Google it, we got the answer, but you can't Google a relationship.
No, you can't, and it really is unfortunate because when you go outside, you don't see kids playing like they used to, and all of those. That's the beginning of your relationships. One of my oldest friends I've known since uh, kindergarten,
Hmm.
actually, and we've gone our separate ways in life, but because we actually had developed a relationship and then you had different kind of communities back then, so because we have developed those relationships, we still, we're still contact. One of my friends at 5, I met her when she was 5. I was a little older, but
Hmm.
she's getting a honorary PhD here in a couple of weeks, and that's been years ago, but we still are connecting. So
Hmm.
you want to have something to connect to. My husband and I were talking about Tina Turner just passed, right?
Yeah.
But we have a relation. We talked about how it was Harry Belafonte, Tina Turner, Jim Brown. Those are people that had, and they were entertainers, they were celebrities, but
Mhm.
they were in the community. They had
Yes.
community service. They left something of value. So and then hopefully they'll have that. But you look at some of the people that are entertainers and celebrities in our younger group. What are they doing that had value like
Mm.
a Harry Belafonte or a Jim Brown who started American
Uh,
for gangs. So and Tina Turner came out with her story about domestic abuse. So you gotta have those things they don't know how important that is now, but
yes,
as you grow older, that's gonna be a powerful piece in
yes,
your life, you
yes,
know.
yes.
Hmm.
And therein lies the strength. The strength is a people, the strength is a culture, the strength is a race, and as a citizen of the world. That idea. I was looking back on Harry Belafonte. I read a story about how he looked out for Lena Horne.
Hmm.
The era of Lena Horne and Dorothy Dandridge. When I talk to some of the young folks, they're like, "Who they play for?"
Who is that?
Yeah. But how when uh, when Harry Belafonte was denied um, membership or entry into a building, it was a co-op, and I guess you had to be approved among the membership, and they didn't approve it, and so he turned around and bought the whole building, and
Right.
ended up providing an apartment for Lena Horne in her later years, and so
Okay.
they looked out for each other, and
Right. That's a
yeah.
good piece of information. I did not know that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just learned it. And it just goes back to who he was, how supportive he was of Dr. King. And there was such an
Mhm.
interconnection there. You know?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that whole era, Dick, um, um, Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, Jim Brown, Dick Gregory.
Dick Gregory. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just you could go on and on.
yeah, yeah. Well, now moving from there into your personal training business, uh, what was that like? What was the driving force between? Did you sell your business, or what'd you do with the business?
I just elevated into different things. I
Hmm.
became well, for one thing, with the event plan. Then I started doing. I have like clients that I just solely worked with, and maybe 3 or 4 clients that I solely
Uh-huh.
worked with when I was doing trade shows and things of
Uh-huh.
that sort. And then I said, you know what? I think I want to develop a trade show for women. And I started directing my energies toward other things. And I got a business partner when I lived in Ohio. And we developed a big, pretty decent sized trade show for women in Ohio for about 6 or 7 years.
Uh-huh.
Then I just elevated into writing books. And then I had a platform of over 40 women where I did workshops and seminars and things I worked for. As a matter of fact, when I became a trainer, I had just finished a project with a company that focused on women over 40, where I had workshops and seminars and things of that sort. So I just elevated into different things. And I still kept my event planning for a while. And then I just got burned out, you
Yeah.
know. And
Yeah.
so uh, I've always, like I had said before, I always have been an advocate of health and fitness. So during those years, I had a couple of years where I may have gained a few pounds or whatever, but I always came back on track. But during those years, I kept up with my health and fitness. I was always, into the workouts and
Uh-huh.
healthy eating and those type of things. I've been profiled in magazines like in 2000, and so I started noticing that people were inspired by my health and fitness, by
Mm.
those things that I did, and I wasn't intentionally doing it. And
Yeah.
I wrote a book about it. So I wrote a book with focus on women over 40. Then I wrote another book with about purpose and calling. And so then I started doing more workshops and seminars. And all along I'm still doing this, keeping this healthy thing.
Mm.
And people are saying I'm so inspired by that and all of that. So it never hit me that I could be a personal trainer. I never said, well, I want to be a personal trainer. But when I saw that there was that gap, then I just transitioned into personal training. So I'm like the reinvention queen, as some
Yes,
people
yes,
call me.
yes,
They
yes.
say you just reinvent yourself, but it all goes around in a circle. It's not like I'm going all the way from one place to another. It all kind of works together
Yes.
based on my life. I thought to write the book based on my women's program, some of the things that I was hearing women say,
Hmm.
and I thought, wow, we need, we need to have something that we can identify with as we grow older.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, being a personal trainer has really, really, really been a wonderful experience to me because it just falls in line with helping people get on their health and fitness journey. And that is so important that we have longevity, but not just longevity, we have a quality of life. It's not just how you look, it's going to be comes down to how you feel as well. So it just like I said, I just reinvent myself,
Hmm.
and I may do something else before it's all over.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
right now, the gym that I was going to, they hired me to be a senior fitness specialist at the gym, and then the guy that I worked for hired me when he opened up his gym,
Hmm.
and then now I'm doing a lot of things online because my husband's mom was sick and I had to keep being away from the clients. So I just started growing my business online. And that's been pretty successful because, I have people that follow me and I do certain little classes here and
Uh-huh.
there.
Uh-huh.
But so that's what I do now. I do it, and I think that that's where I'll stick for the time being until his mom did pass, but we have other things that we're doing. So, and also I'm at an age where I want to be a little freer.
Uh-huh.
I don't want to be bogged down to going to one place.
Uh-huh.
But as you get older, that's what you could do if you want to do that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
told my daughter, I
yeah.
told my daughter, I said, girl, I'm at an age I don't have to do anything if I don't want to, but
Uh-huh.
I want to because I know that I'm helping other people.
Wow. That's profound. Well, you know, someone once said that they said that youth is wasted on the young.
That's
And
the
so
point.
I think
Mhm.
you and we're like Renaissance people. We keep reinventing ourselves,
Sure.
and that spark keeps you going. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
It
yeah,
keeps you going. I don't see myself as retiring. I see myself as just moving to either the next level or a different level.
that,
Because you just if the wheel is turning, why you want to stop it? So as
that's it.
long as the wheel keeps turning, then
Hmm.
you keep going. I mean, if
Yeah,
that's your choice to not do anything, I think that's great. But for me, I'm bored if I stay in the house 2 hours sometimes.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's just that kind of energy that I have.
yeah, yeah. Wow, beautiful. When you look back, you think about, is there any particular obstacle? A lot of times obstacles define us. Any particular obstacle that you can recall that you had to deal with, and how did you overcome it?
Well, the well, there are many obstacles. I'm just going
Uh-huh.
to tell you the
Uh-huh.
bad business partnership I had early on with the retail store. Those are many obstacles that I have. But most of the obstacles that I had were I'm a cancer survivor, breast cancer survivor, and I uh, think that you could allow things to define you,
Hmm.
and it's not a good word to hear. It's not a good thing to hear. Cancer is never a good thing to hear. But the one thing that I had was knowledge, was why when I got my diagnosis, I was knowledgeable because I had supported breast cancer organizations and had people who have had breast cancer and all of that. But the one thing that I said is that I will not allow this obstacle to define me.
Mm.
So that when I got that attitude about it, I said, okay, God, so what do you want me to do now? And I got my answer. God said, just keep doing what you're doing. So I stuck pretty much. I stopped training
Hmm.
for a while, but I still worked out on my own. But so that could have taken me down another path.
Hmm.
But I was determined that I was not going to let it define me. So I think that having a good attitude about it helped me to get through that period of my life.
Mm. Wow. And I think so much of it is attitude, how you see it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this doesn't mean that people won't go through changes
Hmm.
or won't have bad experiences and things of that sort because it's not a good experience one way or the other.
Right.
But
Right.
you do want to try to keep as positive as you can and you reach out to people.
Hmm.
Reach out to resources and friends and people that you know. I mean, I had someone just recently that said pray that I didn't even know the lady, and
Hmm.
she asked me to pray for her because she was going into surgery and inboxed me to do that. So you just have to I get so many inbox. That's why I know don't look at all those things you see online
Hmm.
because there are a lot of people that are going through a lot of things. So,
Mm.
so just reach out to someone if are going through any kind of challenge, really.
Hmm. Wow. When you look back, and thank you for that. I mean, that I think cancer and right now just so many people are impacted by it. And just knowing how the importance of your mindset and how you take charge and handle it in a very holistic and spiritual way. Yeah. Because
Mhm.
everybody has that ability, but many people
Right.
don't choose to do it. And so
Right.
thank you
Yeah.
so much for that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. If you look back on your life, what advice, when you came out of college and you started going into the world, what advice would you give your younger self now from with all the things that you've accomplished so far?
Wow. I would say, you know what? I'm going to be perfectly honest. Um, I don't think I would change anything, but the advice that I would give is with my younger self would be never to stop, don't procrastinate, keep on going, don't allow other people to be a blessing blocker. If I could say anything, is that you have those blessing blockers,
Mm,
and I think that that would be my most important thing is to either get rid of the blessing blockers or stop allowing them to take away, be a distraction to the things that you want to do in life.
mm. Now I love that. The blessing blockers, people keep your good from coming to you.
Right.
Yeah.
You
And
have to
that's
learn
something.
how to you have to take a position and don't worry about it if you're not ready for that because
Hmm.
you will be as long as you know what the right road will be
Yes, yes.
or should be. Mhm.
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So now, if you look going the other way, you are, and I like the way you put it, you move to another expression of yourself, another evolution of yourself. It's almost like ever expanding into different things based on where you are. If you look down the line, so now you're a fitness trainer, you've been in HR, you've been an entrepreneur and a business person. If you look down the line, say 20 or 25 years from now, in that wisdom of that moment, if you project ahead, what advice would you give your current self?
Keep on going, girl. Keep doing what you're doing. Because you know what? Just like cancer didn't define you, age does not define you. So
Mm,
keep on doing what you're doing. Be happy,
hmm.
be happy. And too many people being older people are not happy. Be happy and just keep going and growing.
Wow, that's so beautiful. Because a lot of people let age really define them, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's really, I mean, it's starting to be a lot better. And a lot of it has come out with COVID
Hmm.
because, people are saying, okay, I couldn't get my hair colored, so
Hmm.
now I have to go gray,
Hmm. Yeah.
And so now people are feeling good about their age. You see a lot of older women who are boomers that are
Hmm.
coming out of a shell, and some of it is a little over the top, but it's what they want to do. So
Uh-huh.
now it's becoming like, okay, maybe it's not so bad if I'm getting older, but
Uh-huh.
you still have a large group of people who really have a difficult time with aging,
Hmm.
because what comes with age? Disease. That's the most common thing, and so we have to. That our health and fitness comes into play with that a lot. Then
Hmm.
we have financials. How are you gonna make it on the Social Security, or if you didn't have a financial plan? So there are a lot of things you have to deal with as you age. So I was telling my daughter and my sister and I were talking the other day, and we were like, start right now.
Hmm.
Start right now to make your plans for when you are older. Don't wait. And even if you're older, still start right now. Because you're not. It's no guarantee about if you'll have Social Security or Medicare or all of those. So start to plan. You don't have to plan anything big. Just plan. Okay, I might not be in my house when
Uh-huh.
I'm 80, so
Hmm.
maybe I should I told my daughter, she looked at me like her, maybe I should get a little cottage now. Maybe I don't
Uh-huh.
need a big house.
Yeah.
So already if you're 50 or 60, already what your financials are looking like. So
Hmm.
maybe a big house might not be the thing for you to have. Maybe you should move toward downsizing to a smaller house so you could have it paid for and be comfortable.
Mm. You know, I think that's one of the most powerful statements that you made today because so many people relied on pensions created by the corporations they worked for.
Exactly.
And many of them now at 65 and 70 are finding the corporations somehow have made a move where the pension's not what they thought it would be, where they
Or the
no longer
corporation is no longer in
are the
existence.
existence. Yeah, the corporations is gone, or they've moved it offshore and changed the rules. And so what you're really saying is very, very profound because it's saying you have to take care of, figure it out for yourself with the things that
Mhm.
you have control over. You know, you
Right.
don't have control over that job. We don't even have control over Social Security. And so the things you have control over, that I can't think of anything more importantly because, in our age category, a friend of mine said the worst thing you can do is be old and broke. Then
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, nowadays they're looking for workers, so you could probably get. I mean, I have a sister that just started subbing,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, and so you could get extra income
Yeah,
nowadays, but maybe you don't want to work when you're 70.
yeah, yeah,
know
yeah.
and so you just have to start thinking down the line at right now. I don't care if you're listening to this and you're 20.
Uh-huh.
Start thinking down the line now. you
Yes,
know
yes.
Mhm.
I totally agree, absolutely, and I mean we need to shout that from the rooftops because wherever you are, be you
Mhm.
20, 40, 60, or 70, wherever you are, you need to be thinking like that. Yeah, yeah.
Whatever age, yeah, yeah. And I
Mhm.
wish that I have a few friends that I try to say, well, you know what? My husband told me something a few years ago because we have blended family. And he said that, listen, when they come to us for money,
Mhm.
they have a lot longer to make money than we do. So
Uh-huh.
they got to figure it out.
Yes, yes,
So hey, we can't keep boom, 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 boom.
yeah,
So, and I took that with a grain of, I took that and I ran with it because I said, you know what? You are right.
yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah,
next time I got asked for something, I said, well, you know what? You'll
yeah,
figure it out.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they got to figure it out.
Yeah.
and they figured it out.
Yeah.
You know?
And are probably much better for it.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and the great thing is when you can do that, they can figure it out, but you're still in a viable situation yourself. You know, so many times by the time people get put in the position to figure it out, the elders are gone.
Right.
And
Yeah.
there's nobody to tell them and guide them.
Nobody
Yeah.
to tell you. But
Yeah.
you gotta figure it out. And once you figure it out, then you're on the road. But
Yeah.
too many people are not allowing their kids to figure it out. But when my husband told me that one thing, he said, and I thought about it, I said, you know what? He's
Uh-huh.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's the way that's what you have to do. You have to make some hard decisions sometimes,
Yeah.
but if the decision makes it better for you, because you should not have to be spending your retirement on a fixed income to help people that are able-bodied and
Yeah.
able to work every
Yeah.
day. It doesn't even make sense.
We see you're in a much better position to work than I am. Yeah, I got that.
Right.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you got a lot longer to make money than I do.
Yeah.
If we got 30 years between us,
Uh-huh.
then you got a lot longer than me.
Yeah.
I'm headed on a fixed income,
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That's beautiful. Well, just a couple of other thoughts. As a personal trainer, what do you figure is the biggest impediment to, let's just say, seniors really getting into a personal training program? Is there anything that stops a lot of them, a mindset that they need to adopt to do it successfully?
Start.
Start.
That start.
Uh-huh.
You gotta take that first stop. I actually have a program coming up soon. I do it maybe once a year. This year is called Start, Stick, and Stay. And
Start, stick,
so
and stay. I like that.
start, stick, and stay. How do you start? How do you stick? And how do you stay? And the thing that I could do is not just start, but start smart.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you haven't done lifted weights in 20 years, don't try to go in and lift heavy weights.
Uh-huh.
So it's a step-by-step process. It's okay to start at the bottom. It's okay to only lose 1 pound in a week or 1 pound a month, but as long as you keep losing those pounds. So you got to start, but start smart.
Uh-huh. Beautiful. That's I'm hearing that in my head so clearly. Now, tell us about your books. Are your books still available?
My books are available mostly on Kindle, on Amazon.
Uh-huh. And what's the titles of your books so we can have that for our listeners?
The first one was all about the vets. That's veterans of life, women with long life experiences. And the second one is Dear Blank, Are You Missing Your Calling? And they're under my name, Sheila Agnew, on Amazon.
I like that.
And they both can be obtained on if you have Kindle.
Yeah.
Or they have a thing now where you could read it. So keep in mind, I wrote them a minute ago, and right now I have my website if people want to look at that, and I do a lot on social media. So I don't have as much time to write as I used to because I'm doing a lot of other things. But the message is still the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what is your website?
SheilaAgnew.com.
Okay.
SheilaAgnew.com.
Beautiful. Well, Sheila, I have now. Did you receive the books I sent you?
They weren't there when I haven't come to my mailbox. They weren't there when I left last week, but I'm actually on my way there when we leave today. However, I have read some of the 12 Universal Laws of Success. I love it already.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, from a senior's point of view, was there any particular part that that might stand out?
From a senior?
Yeah.
Like age-wise?
Yeah, age-wise.
For me?
Yeah.
Or just in general?
In general, or for you. Yeah.
Well, here's my thing. I always tell people, and I'm it doesn't really change. I stick with this. It's always good to look good. It's always nice to look good, but it's also how you feel. So you just don't want to look good because those looks are gonna fade. So you want to be able to feel. You want feel good. You want to go to the doctor and have your numbers better numbers, or not have to take any medication or anything like that. What you want to focus on is longevity and quality of life. So that's my thing. I always say it's not just how you look, it's how you feel, because we want to let that light shine. We want that spirit within us to shine. So always prepare yourself so that your light is always shining. And once your light is shining, that physical might dim, but your light is still going to be shining.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'll tell you, thank you so much for a great interview. Any final words to the world?
Well, yes, to the world. I'm praying for the world, praying for the world. But anyway, no, just my final word is, hey, we only have one life to live. And I would rather see us live it feeling good, live it happy, being able to move around, being able to get around. Even if you're in a wheelchair, it doesn't matter. You could do something. You could do something for yourself. So the main thing you want to do is have your mind, body, and soul. You want to have physical, mental, and spiritual. And once you have all of that, you'll be good.
Wow. Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Sheila. We have enjoyed you today. I love your insight. Yes. I love your energy.
I look forward to reading the rest of the books as well. It's my kind of reading.
Well, I think you're going to enjoy it. And for our listeners, this is special for you, all of the seniors and all of, I'll call us the veterans. I like the way you call it, all about the vets.
Veterans of life, people with long life experiences.
That's it. All of us veterans of life, pay attention, listen to this interview, share it with others, because I know that there are people who may not be clear about the blessing of a long life and some of the things you need to do to keep it flowing and going. It's, as Sheila said, keep going and growing. So this is a broadcast for you all. Listen and enjoy. Please share it. Please make comments and pass it on to someone who needs an uplifting vibration, who may be just a little stuck, because the words that Sheila Agnew has shared can help you be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is.